Okay, seems there is only two of us at the moment. They might join more later. And I think we're going to start. Okay. I would like to start just with the chant. It's the student teacher chant. That is generally chant before and after, before a class, just to pay an homage and be respectful towards the lineage of masters who have given us their knowledge, this knowledge. And so the chant is, I don't know if you are familiar with chant, if you chanted before, but it's quite a well-known chant. It's Om Sahana Savana Vavatu and continue on. So I will chant it, but you know, feel free, if you do know the chant, feel free to join. Otherwise, it will just take a moment. So sit comfortable and soften your gaze or close your eyes. Starting with the Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahay Jajavina Tamastu Ma Vishvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the meaning of this chant is roughly, obviously, translation of Sanskrit. It doesn't translate directly into English, but it means may he protect both of us, may he nourish both of us, may we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scripture. May our study be brilliant. May we not argue with each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Okay, the other thing that I would like to continue with is with a little meditation, and is the Dharma. We're going to do a Dharma chakra meditation, which relates to everything you have been studying in the last few classes. And a Dharma, this is a concept of Dharma, the chakras, and the energy and the liberation. So to start with, I just want to see if I can add a now I'm quite new to now I was trying to see if I can put the the screenshot, but I don't seem to be able to. Yeah, no. Okay. Yes, that's the share screen. Let me see if I can let you show. There. Share screen. Okay, yeah. So you should be able to see. So for this meditation, I take a comfortable seated position, which you should already be. And we're going to, you don't have to take this Dhamma Chakra Mudra for the duration of the meditation, but if you do wish, you can. So the position, first of all, Dhamma Chakra in Sanskrit means the wheel of Dharma. And Dhamma Chakra Mudra is considered a representation of Buddha's teaching about the cosmic order from the heart. So Dharma is the universal law, the natural order of the cosmos. And the thumb and index fingers of both the hands, as you can see, is with both hands that are in a Jnana Mudra, which is the thumb and the index fingers joining at the tip. They form a circle and which symbolize the will of Dharma. The left hand faces the heart, represent the inner world, while the right hand is facing out and represent the outer world. So bring the hands in the position of the mudra. So the left hand is facing inwards, and so the thumb and index finger is touching, the other fingers are open. Then the right hand, again, is the thumb and the index fingers are touching. And then you position the right index and thumb on top of the third finger of the left hand. So the right hand is facing out. So if you wish, you can keep these for the duration of the of this meditation. But if you feel tired, you can release it. Okay. So Dharma chakra meditation is about revealing the truth of our being gradually along the chakra journey, culminating in liberation from suffering. The journey involves manifesting the quality of each chakra, which relates to the 5 elements, Pancha Mahabhutas. Through this integration, we naturally manifest our life, higher vision, and deepest meaning, our Dharma, allowing us to live with a sense of freedom and ease at each moment of our continued life journey. So taking a moment just to bring your awareness inward. Keep your eyes closed. Allow your breath to equalize. Continue to breathe freely and bring your awareness at the base of your body. In here, visualize a red square at the base of your body, the seat of the earth element, Muladhara chakra. Draw your awareness to Muladhara chakra and let it rest here. Vision a landscape that represent all of the earth, valleys, mountains, plains and deserts. Sense and feel the beauty of this vision around you. As you embody the earth element, take several breaths to smell its rich fragrance, absorbing its qualities of stability and safety, continuing this journey safety. Just take a few breaths with this visualization of the earth element. And just let the vision go and begin to visualize an orange circle on your pelvis, the seat of the water element. Envision all forms of water, the ocean, sea, rivers and lakes, clouds and rain. As you embody the water element, take some time to absorb its quality of fluidity, cultivating the ease that allows you to flow with the changing season. Just take just a moment to embody the water element. As this visualization dissolves, start visualizing an upward-facing golden triangle at the solar plexus, the seat of the fire element. Envision the rise of the sun spreading out from this triangle, feeding your entire being with warmth and energy. Take some time to clarify your vision. See your life purpose clearly while receiving the vitality and energy to manifest it completely. Just take some time to clarify your vision. See your life purpose clearly while receiving the vitality and energy to manifest it completely. And now visualize an emerald green 6-pointed star at the center of your chest, the seat of the air element. Envision a meadow of green unfolding from your heart, with wildflowers sway softly in the breeze. Hold this vision in your mind. Take all the time you need to sense lightness and ease permeating your thoughts and feelings, allowing you to embrace life with compassion and sensitivity. Let this vision dissolve and replace it with a silver crescent moon, arising within the throat center, the seat of the space element, opening the doorway to which perceive the universe with stars and galaxy, unfolding and expanding infinity. As you rest in the vastness space, take several breaths to attune with the spaciousness of your being, releasing all the limits, your infinite possibilities. And now direct your breath to the eyebrow center, visualizing a luminous full moon, a symbol of integration of all the elements. As you bathe in the shimmering moonlight, sense all the elements aligned and balanced in your being, allowing you to experience perfect calm. Take some time to feel that sense of integration entirely. Slowly draw your awareness to the crown of your head, to Sahasrara chakra. Visualize a crystal energy bathing the crown of your head. Feel this crystal energy touch every part of your being, receiving inspiration for your life journey. Take some time to allow a vision of your life's deepest meaning to infuse your entire being. As you bath in the purity of this crystal energy, feel a sense of balance and harmony in your whole being. Find this sense now and repeat mentally, integrating all of the chakra qualities. My vision is manifested as a lived reality. Repeating mentally, integrating all of the chakra qualities. My vision is manifested as a lived reality. Repeating, integrating all of the chakra qualities. My vision is manifested as a lived reality. Slowly release the gesture, the mudra. And bring the hands to the center of your heart in Anjali Mudra, hands in prayer, to symbolize that understanding and integration, to feel to feel into the depth of the qualities of your heart desire. We're going to slowly release from this practice. Okay, Karen, do you have any question from the previous lessons and previous Zoom calls?
Not entirely. I'm probably not the right person to answer this though, because like I said, the content isn't online and I haven't been able to attend all of the calls. So
yeah,
I'm not, I'd like to be more up to date, but I'm a little bit limited right now.
Have you done just the online classes apart from the Zoom calls? Have you done some of them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The online stuff is not online. It's like, so all of the lessons don't link to the content.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you said it before.
Yeah. So I sent them an email and, hopefully they'll have all of that today soon.
Okay. Well, that's actually not a problem, because I'm going to go through quite a lot has been done in the previous classes, but we are going quite deep into it. And just because the subject of today's class is the gunas, which is the sattva, rajas, and tamas. So I'm going to integrate the gunas, these three qualities, through what has been done in the previous classes. So just going to have a quick look now. The previous classes, they have looked at the concept of creation and the concept of Dharma. So I'll just briefly tell you what I'm studying Vedic astrology, so for me, the way I really connect with the sense of Dharma is through it's through the Vedic studies, which is where everything comes from. And so the Dharma is one of the 4 aims or goals of human life. So this is was one of the, I think it's the second lessons. It was talking about Dharma. Just very, very briefly to make you understand where that fits with life, really. Okay, so we say that there are the 4 goals, a substantial 4 goals into the human life, which are karma, which is not karma, is karma, artha, dharma, and moksha. So I'm going to explain it to you what all this means. So karma means literally desire and refers to our need for emotional and sensory happiness in life. And as such, we could call it enjoyment. All that we do in life should be enjoyable and not cause pain to ourselves or others. So this also refers to the Yamani Amas, and I don't know if you studied them, but, you know, but this they're not Amsa. Amcha. And so that's just briefly karma, just to give you an idea. Artha means achievement of goals, but relates more specifically to the acquisition of valuable objects, and so could be rendered as wealth as well. And each of us should have the necessary articles of wealth to allow us to function happily in life. And that's very subjective. It's not about becoming rich with materialistic wealth, because then half of the population won't be happy. It's just what is wealth for you, the meaning that is for you to be happy. And that varies a lot to person. And Dharma means principle of law. This is really important because we'll see then in Sankhya philosophy of creation how it is just a natural law, and we will see it again and again. And it's the base of Ayurveda. I mean, it's Vedic. Oh gosh. It's the Vedic studies. So Dharma means principle of law or law, and refers to the fulfillment of our need for honor and recognition in life. We could call it vocation, as this is how our culture interprets these needs. Each of us needs to be acknowledged for what we can do, so that we can contribute to society without compromising who we really are. So this is just really applied to the person. There is a bigger Dharma that is just about the universal laws that rules the universe, mainly. And then there is moksha, that means liberation or freedom, and relates to our need for spiritual growth, including transcendence of the 3 lower values. And we all must seek to go beyond who we are until we become one with all. I mean, we understand moksha when I'm going to speak to you a little bit about the Sankhya philosophy that becomes much more understandable. And but mainly, say that these are the 4 aims of life. However, the ultimate goal is the liberation, is freedom, is moksha. And just the first 3 is karma, hatha, and dharma. They're just a medium, a way to have liberation. Okay, that just a very little, very quick into this. These concepts, but it's really what we are looking at. We want to actually just to just keep a little bit of the meaning of dharma. That we'll go back to it, which is, generally people look at it like your purpose in life, dharma, your vocation, and your part in society. And so now see if I can find the other. picture about it was published in one of the lessons that obviously, Karen, you couldn't access. Is about the Sankhya philosophy of creation. Let me just see if I can share the screenshot. Let me see. Okay. Pictures. Right, I just have, I don't have the one, it was published from the, yeah, this is not the one that was given by Yoga Veda in your class, but it gives you an idea what we're talking about. So just have a look at this picture. Hi, Carrie, how are you? Lovely to have you here. Right, just going to the Sankhya philosophy. Can you all see the picture?
Yes.
Yeah, good, excellent. Right, so the reason why we're going there, because well, we're going to see where the gunas come from. So the qualities, these lessons of the Veda is about. So the Sankhya philosophy, it gives a concept of the universe and a creation. So it's analyze the cosmos into a dualistic and aesthetic scheme. The two types or entities that exist on the Sankhya's count are Prakriti, which you have heard already because that is our own constitution, but this is Prakriti about the universe. And it refers to nature. And the other entity is Purusha, or persons. So it's a plurality of entity. So Purusha comprises of the gross body and the subtle body. The subtle body of Purusha transmigrates. So this is, it relates to the reincarnation, but it gives you quite an understanding about moksha, about the ultimate goal of liberation, which is the same goal for Ayurveda and for yoga. So the subtle body of Purusha transmigrate, has the capacity to move, to change. So after the death of the gross body, the subtle body is reborn into another gross body according to past merit, to karma. So that's another concept. And so an escape from this endless circle of death and being reborn is possible only through the realization of the fundamental difference between nature and person. So we'll see how from the cosmic we have individualization, and then we want to go from the individualization, go back to the cosmos, to the becoming one again. And that's what it's referring to. And so escape from this endless circle is possible only through the realization of the fundamental difference between nature and person. So nature, which is the cosmic nature, and the persons, which is the individualism, where an individual Purusha and is thereby liberated forever from all bodies, subtle and gross, and pure consciousness only exists. So that's where we're returning to the pure consciousness of the universe. So from the union of Purusha and Prakriti proceed evolution. So there is the cosmos, and we have these two entities. So there's Purusha and Prakriti. So you can see the Prakriti is the black one, Purusha is the pink one. And And the central mechanism of evolution is the complicated interaction of the gunas. Okay, I'll explain all this, so we come in there. So Prakriti, or nature, is comprised of 3 gunas, or qualities. The highest of the 3 is sattva, essence. It is the principle of light, goodness, and intelligence. There is rajas, dust, is the principle of change, energy, and passion, while tamas is darkness, appears as inactivity, dullness, heaviness, and despair. In the initial state of Prakriti, so at the initial state of creation, the gunas were in equilibrium. However, due to the effect of Purushas, this change and evolve the manifold universe that we see, the manifest. So it's through Prakriti that we see the changes, and so we will be in change through the gunas. So just going back to the guna, the sattva means satness, where the particle sat means being, existent, real, proper, good. So sattva is light, is not heavy. It refers to quality of balance, equality, and stability. Its purpose and activity is illuminating. It is light, which in Sanskrit is called lagu, and luminous, again in Sanskrit is prakashika, and holds the capacity for happiness, contentment. It is conscious and intelligent, moving inwards and upwards. That was sattva. Rajas, the name of the second guna, means atmosphere, mist, and dust. Rajas is supportive, like a column, also mobile, like water. Rajas generate activity, change, and disturbance. It is mobile and excitable. It is the motivator and expressor. It has a centrifugal force, causing dispersion and disintegration. This movement away from the center causes pain. And the third guna is tama, means darkness. Tamas is heavy and covering. It is the immobile, still, and stuck quality. It is heavy and causes obstruction or lack of perception. It moves down and is responsible for degeneration and death. Through the force of tamas, there is delusion and confusion. Tamas has a bad reputation for being negative, downward-bearing energy. However, this sometimes misinterprets its role. So the gunas exist for a single purpose. They come together for a single purpose or liberation or moksha. The ultimate goal of all darsanas and conscious existence is moksha, liberation. There are different aspects of one force, really. We're separating into the 3 gunas, but actually we can look at it just at different aspects of one force. And they can be mutually supportive of each other and productive. They help each other and keep each other in check. They are accountable for each other, maintaining, encouraging, and or restraining each other. So they vary proportion, explain the variety in nature. Okay. So we will look how we can see those gunas. It's different quality, 3 different qualities in everything, really. But I just want to go through the yoga philosophy for a moment. Yeah. So through the gunas from Purusha, the nature, and Prakriti, we are moving to the first evolution, which is called Mahat, the universal intelligence. And this is differentiated into Buddhi as individual consciousness. Buddhi is the discriminator, is that they can discriminate between the faculties, discriminate between eternal and transient, real and unreal. Here we see, so here's the three qualities of the gunas. So in a state of sattva, which is the one of lightness, a balance, Buddha is wise, detached, and powerful. So Buddha, we said, is the individual consciousness. In a state of tamas, the heaviness, it holds to the opposite side of these properties. Here the gunas show how the multiple variety in life manifests. Sometimes is light and at others dark. So from Mahat and Buddhi, nature differentiates further and creates ahankara, the I maker. This is individualized awareness. It owns different aspects of evolution as its own. The I represents the individual identity that exists in its own right. When we identify with the I and not the source, it creates intellectual and experimental inaccuracy. And so this is where we can see ignorance, avidya, that arises for ahankara, the I maker, where the ignorance becomes real and a separated entity. So through this individual relation, the gunas, as different aspects of nature, diversify and manifest in their own ego identity. So from the sattvic and rajasic aspects of ahankara, evolve the sets of 11 senses, indriya, the 5 faculties, jnanendriya, you can see just below and in the picture, and the 5 organ of action, kamendriya, and the mind, manas. So you can see below sattvika is manas, the mind, and then on the rajasika you see the other 2, jnanendriya and kamendriya. So just going into jnanendriya, here the potential of experience of nature through our senses. So it relates to our senses. They operate in a subtle and gross level. They hear, perceive sound, moving in space. The skin perceives touch carried by hair. The eyes see light generated by fire. The tongue carries taste that manifests through water. So we can see how the elements start coming into play, the 5 elements of water, fire, air, and space, and earth. So the nose observes smells exuding from earth. Through these senses, we know about the world: hearing, feeling, seeing, tasting, and smelling it. They are the interference between the outer and inner world. For the physician, they are the tool of diagnosis. So this is, the point in Ayurveda is like through how we hear, how we feel, how we smell, we can see the imbalances, how we process things. That's how it becomes tool of diagnosis. The kamendriya allow for certain actions which direct certain experiences. So kamendriya is the one under the rajasika, the pink one. Yeah, I know the picture is not brilliant, but there is one in the Yoga Veda lessons that is I couldn't show you right now. So Kamendriyas allow for certain action which directs certain experiences. The mouth is responsible for expression that is carried by ether and sound. The hands are instruments of grasping, utilizing air and touch. The feet allow for motion, requiring the dynamics of heat and direction of sight. The reproductive organs are potential for reproduction held in water and taste. The anus allow for the expression of elimination relating to earth and smell. So how we perform this expressive action is a product of ahankara. However, the inherent quality necessary for this manifestation is everywhere in Prakriti. So these are the gross nature, yeah, where is the quality. So when we look at the sattvika, this manas, the mind is both expressive and receptive. It observes, perceives, and projects. It is the conditioned mind dependent on particular modalities of ahankara. So it's the I maker that conditioned the mind. So the influence of the mind comprehends and directs the organs and sense of actions. So through experiences, how we comprehend it, how we we process them. So it gives a different action. Yeah. And we're going to go into the black one, tamasika. So the tamasic aspect of ahankara, propelled by the dynamism of rajas, generate matras, the seeds element. Sorry, there's a lot for Sanskrit here. But they are the prama measure, tat matra, they are the causal roots energy that hold the potential of all sensory and elemental manifestation. So there is sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So we can see how each element contains a collection of atoms. They become more dense as they evolve through the different states of the matter, ethereal to gaseous, to thermal, to fluid, to solid. So each element contains part of the other elements. So we're going into the Mahapura, the 5 elements. And air is like wind, light, subtle, clear, mobile, rough, dry, give direction and potential to change. The continual movement causes friction that creates fire. So we see how it starts producing heat and fire. So moving to fire, fire is hot, sharp, penetrating, fluid, luminous, ascending and dispersing. It allows for perception and warmth. It creates condensation that collects in form of water. So we can see how the elements are all integrated with each other. So water is the moisture necessary for life. It's a fluid, heavy, wet, soft, cool, and cohesive. It coagulates from earth. So if you mix water with soil, it coagulates. And so here we see again the earth elements is coming into it. So earth is solid and stable. It has resilience, is thick, heavy, dense, hard, and still. Each element contains a part of the other elements within itself. You can see how they're all related. They're all connected. Then the human beings are compound all of these elements. So at death, when we lose the body, the gross elements, made up of the 5 gross elements, the rest from intellect down to the tamatras make up the transmigrating entity called linga, or the subtle body. So that's what we were talking about, moksha, so they're also their incarnation. So the Purusha itself does not transmigrate. The transmigration is compared to an actor pulling on different clothes and taking up many roles. It is determined by the law of cause and effect, known also as a law of karma. Because Prakriti is essentially changing, nothing is constant in the material world. Everything decays and meets its destruction at the end. Therefore, as long as transmigrating entity persists, the suffering of old age and death is unavoidable. The only way to fight suffering is to leave the circle on transmigration, samsara, forever. This is the liberation of Purusha. So we are going to, mainly to return to Purusha, you have to go to all of the process of that we just seen, this differentiation. So when you into the picture, from the Purusha and Prakriti, we are differentiating. We're going down to all of the elements, all of the various components. So the liberation is actually going back up, returning to Purusha. And that is known moksha, or realization. So it is about loosening the bond between Purusha and Prakriti to return to the pure consciousness. And so because we saw all of the elements, so that we all have all of these elements. So Ayurveda groups them into the 3 different doshas. So Vata is made out of air and ether. Pitta is fire and water. Kapha is water and earth. So, hello, you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I was driving and I wanted to make sure I got on, and now I'm home, so I switched.
Oh, bless you. Yeah.
Is it just us?
Oh, yes, she's gone.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I continue going with this because your people will.
They'll be away. So I have a question then.
Yes.
So.
Go on.
Okay.
Shall I just move this picture?
But so when I look at this picture, or when I look at any of the Sankhya or Samkhya pictures,
yeah,
to me, ahamkara is, or ego is the thing that is pretty much the divide between us and the universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just the way that I think about it and explain it. And I don't know if maybe that, I don't know. Sometimes
what it means is that mainly the concept is we got to entity, and from here we have the mainly everything comes from these 2 elements. Yeah. And we're going into the eye maker, and from the eye maker to the gunas, and from the gunas we got all of the elements as well. And right. The eye maker is the one that made the differentiations. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
the Mayan veil lives.
No.
The Mayan veil.
No,
the Mayan veil, or disillusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where disillusion lives, right?
Yeah.
So that would be actually really the border.
Well, you get it into quite a lot of the psychology or yoga, where you have the samskaras, the conscious minds, subconscious minds. It becomes quite complex.
Okay.
Yeah, that you have to differentiate, and mainly through yoga is when we're trying to go to their real nature of the pure consciousness. That is mainly we are pulled away from it, from our life experience, from everything that they make. Well, samskara. You know the meaning of samskaras?
Samskara are actions that you take, which will make it so that you need to repair them, or you will go through you already said it once. I picture it as levels, like a house of reincarnation. What is it called?
You're talking about moksha?
No,
No.
after our body passes,
Yes,
we
today
go into what's it called?
you're talking about the subtle body,
I'm talking about our consciousness enters into, so a way this maybe it is, wait a minute.
Don't worry. But many samskara is all over. It's really nice the way my my yoga teacher think of it as a scar. Yeah, is a all of your life experiences, they will leave a sign deep in your consciousness, and those scars, they will kind of, it reflects in the way you behave or respond to things that happens to you. Yeah, and sometimes it's not the correct way to respond. Yeah, they're not always right. In fact, generally they're not driven from your pure consciousness. Yeah,
right. So they are attached to you, and like in your reincarnation, they would be previous, it would be previous karma.
There will be previous karmas as well. Yeah, there is, but it's a slightly a different concept.
Yeah. Yes. Like almost like ties.
Because samskara is more related to this life. Yeah, while karma is about previous lives, this life, and the lives to be as well.
So samskaras determine on where from this life, because they need to be resolved. So you're supposed to resolve them.
Yes.
In order to determine what happens next.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more to be to try to unveil where the true yourself is. So sometimes I make an example. Sometimes you oh gosh, the word. So it could be, you know, that you don't like people with red hair because you had a really bad experience with red persons, and a person that has red hair, as soon as you see somebody with red hair, you become protective. Yeah,
right.
It's not a real reason for it. Yeah, it just relates to an experience that you had, but it's quite inside you that is rising. Yeah, that's the first thing that your mind brings up, and that's your action that instinctively comes out.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. I got that. This is gonna drive me nuts. Why isn't it telling me where it is? You just had it. You just said it. But it's ingrained, and it's almost unconscious. The samskaras.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna come to me, and I'm gonna just blurt it out. Okay.
Well, it wasn't, hasn't been taught into the lessons about the samskara.
It's something. No, it's something that's been. It's clearly from yoga training.
Yeah. And okay, good. I'll remove the picture now. And so that so yes, mainly what it is. So from an individual point of view, is about you know, that's the thing with the elements and the therapeutical things, is about recognizing what are the disturbance to your nature. Yeah, so samskara is a disturbance to your real self. yeah, if you want, because you can't really, you're not acting because of the trueness, your real nature. You're acting because of some scars that has happened through your life. It could be also the society kind of brainwashing you into having certain behavior. It could come from your family, it could come from lots of different places. Condition, yeah, the conditioning. Yeah, and what we want to separate those conditioning to get to your to the true nature. And it's the same when we are trying to do things therapeutically with Ayurveda. It's pretty much the same thing. It's about going back to your true nature. So trying to see what are the things that are not actually responding as it should be, as your true nature is. Yeah. So we are talking about the prakriti. Yeah. So we are going to have the interference of the gunas. They want to pull you in all over the place. They are not in balance, and so you will not. How to say? You really want to notice what's happening, so you can, because you want to bring it more to balance, more to a sattvic state. But as I said, sattva, raja, and tamas are all part of one force that just express itself in 3 different specific ways. So we can't really eliminate them all and be just sattvic, because we need the 3 of them to create balance. Yeah.
Right.
So, makes sense?
Yes.
It will make more sense as I go through a few examples of the gunas. That is also on the slides for this lesson.
Oh, whoops.
And so when we look at the 3 gunas, so it's called like the primal qualities, because it's to the universe, it belongs to everybody. So it's on everything, including us and every person. Let's have a look here. So let's look at what is a tamasic state. So we look at the qualities there. Sattva is the balance, the lightness. Raja is more about turmoil and movement, and tamas is more about stillness and dullness. So let's go through again the sattvic state. The sattvic, especially relating to a person, is the one of delight, happiness, joy, peace, wellness, freedom, love, compassion, equanimity, empathy, friendliness, focus, self-control, satisfaction, trust, fulfillment, calmness, bliss, cheerfulness, gratitude, fearlessness, selflessness. So it's pretty much nearly impossible for us to be sattvic constantly, 24 days. Yeah. And so you will have a combination of those qualities, the 3 qualities. So the rajasic state is anger, euphoria, anxiety, fear, irritation, worry, restlessness, stress, courage, rumination, determination, and chaos. And while the tamasic state is laziness, disgust, attachment, depression, helplessness, doubt, guilt, shame, boredom, addiction, hurt, sadness, apathy, confusion, grief, dependency, and ignorance. So even already just seeing the rajasic and tamasic state, you can see a lot of illnesses coming from it. Yeah, when these are dominants, they create an unbalanced, quite an unbalanced state of the person. And so that's why we want to bring them back, when it's rajasic, tamasic, we want to bring them there, give them a direction to become more sattvic. And you okay? Are you with me?
I am. I might be pausing because I'm not getting good reception.
Okay.
But I want to confirm too with you, because samskaras are the scars that lead us to samsara, the levels of rebirth. Does that make sense?
Repeat it again for me, please.
Can you hear me? Samskaras, so like you said, some scars are related to the circle of rebirth, samsara.
Okay. I can't answer you precisely with that, because actually I never had that question before.
It's a little not something we've covered, but
The circle of rebirth is about it is and it isn't, to my understanding. Okay, and just in my knowledge, I'm still a student. Okay, but
right.
samskara, the thing is about moksha and rebirth, and it's more about you have a path in life, and especially with the Vedic astrology, the way we look at it, and it's about you have a path in life that is determined by your karmas as well as all the things, and it depends how much you can. It's not a lot of about samskara. It's more about dharma. How much you can fulfill. As I said, the dharma, the art. You weren't here when I said it.
I was in the car. And so I couldn't see my face because I heard you say samsara and rebirth and dharma. And
okay, yes, it was about the 4 legitimate goals of human life. So the goal of life is from the Vedic science is the karma, artha, dharma, and moksha. And which karma is the desire referred to enjoyment, just very, very briefly repeat it. Artha is about achieving goals and wealth. Dharma is the principle of law, and it can be seen as a vocation. So it's kind of like your duty in life in a way, but what is you meant to be, but relates a lot about society. And from the Vedic astrology point of view. And so each of us need to be at knowledge of what we can do, that we can contribute to society without compromise who we really are. That's what Dharma from the Vedic astrology point of view, that lots of different concepts of Dharma, that depends on what you're referring it to. But mainly, if you can accomplish a karma, artha, dharma into your life, there you reach moksha, liberation, and that will stop your reincarnation.
That'll stop samskara, samsara, unless you want to come back. Okay.
You wouldn't want to come back because you accomplished everything.
You've accomplished.
You have reached all of your goals. Yeah, so you lose the interest of reincarnation because you become nature. So there's not anymore the curiosity of wanting to be rebirth, because you accomplished what you needed to accomplish.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had either read or been told that, after,
Oh yeah, I think I read it some.
If you wanted to, if there was a purpose, like if there was a reason, if you said, okay, I need to come back because I don't know, I need to help Carrie attain moksha, then that would be your reason. I mean, clearly not just one person, but like a whole community. You know what I mean?
Okay, then to me, you haven't fulfilled completely your dharma. if you feel the need to reincarnate again.
That's true. That's true, because then some of your dharma is left over. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's there, but just derailing a little bit, and you can see if you know, good Vedic astrology, they can actually see if you finished, you accomplish, you really reach moksha, and they can see it's not black and white because you have to interpret it, but you can see that you have accomplished everything that you need to accomplish from all of the previous lives. And that's the thing, when in this life you haven't accomplished it all, you carry over into the next life. Yes, that's the karma, and doesn't necessarily has to be a negative one. You know, it's just what you need to do is not completed, so you come back into another body, the gross body, but you're continuing into the same journey in a way.
Right.
Make sense?
I got it. I got it better now, because just thinking that it doesn't always have to be negative.
No.
I think there's a big thing that sometimes we get stuck thinking it's got to be negative, negative, negative.
And that is a kind of samskara, and it's when you detach from labels, that you can see things just what they are, and then there's no negative, positive.
And that and that you're just not done. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you need to do something good or if you did something that wasn't so good.
And generally in Vedic philosophy and theology, negative things, they come for a reason, because it means they have to teach you a lesson. So actually negative things that are positive, not in the present moment, because they have the negative emotions attached to it, but it will evolve into something better. And then generally that is something needed. That might be needed. You won't see the positive maybe in this life. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And maybe it will be just for the next one. But again, you know, this is quite a difficult concept, because lots of people don't believe in reincarnation. So it's okay. And so
no. I've had that question on my mind. And I didn't really know where or when to ask it. So
go ahead. So yes. Right. You okay? Shall we go back to the gunas?
I am good. You can go back to the gunas.
Okay. Brilliant.
And I'm gonna don't be disturbed by me walking around, but I'm gonna be.
Yeah. I know you. Okay, so I just want to go a little bit through the slides that were posted on the lesson, just to see where we find those gunas and the meaning of the gunas, their qualities, seen from different perspectives. So the three gunas, again, coming back, we're going to repeat again and again and again. So sattva is intelligence and impart balance. Raja is energy and causes imbalance. Tamas is substance that creates inertia. Okay, so sattva is purity, create harmony and balance, is light and bright. And rajas is a motivation and stimulation. So it's not that negative. Sometimes you need that. And tamas is the one that is a kind of like the force of gravity, is slowing down, and it creates stillness or stability. So let's have a look at the colors. So color sattva is white, pure. It gives harmony. Raja is actually, he says, is ray, action, and passion. Actually, sometimes Raja is defined as all of the color, all of the spectrum. Yeah, although it's most identified with red, it's action and passion. Tamas is black. It's a darkness, delusion. Yeah. So looking at the time, so sattva, it relates to day and clarity. Raja is the sunrise and sunset, the twilight and transition. Tamas is night and darkness. And about energy, so sattva is the natural energy, the balanced energy. Raja is positive, sex, things in motion. And tamas then negative. But again, we have to positive, negative energy. Is the one that slow down motion. And so we can see already, you know, if someone is totally rajasic, sometimes just having sattva is not enough to give that push for change. So you have to bring tamasic quality to slow things down, to then move on to sattva. That's why it's very important that the three of them, that's why the three of them coexist and they bring balance to each other. So into the world, sattva is heaven or space, the region of peace. Raja's atmosphere, the region of storm. Tamas is earth, the realm of gravity and its inertia. And well, we wouldn't be here on earth if there wasn't the gravity. Yeah. So again, we can't eliminate the others. We can't eliminate rajas and tamas. In the kingdom of nature, sattva is the spiritual being, gods, goddess, and sages. Rajas, the human realm. Tamas is a mineral, plants, and animal kingdom. And here we're going in the state of consciousness. Sattva is waking. So it's the waking up. And Rajas, the dream state. And Tama is the deep state. And again, if we were awake all the time, we wouldn't exist. You just couldn't do it. And so the gunas and the mind consciousness state is sattva. Sattva creates clarity. Raja creates desire, distortion, turbulence, and emotional upset. Tamas come from ignorance and hide other true nature and weakens our power of perception. And that's anything so far rings the bell, or something comes up to your mind about something really drastic.
Everything is good, and I really like that bringing out the quality of, well, acknowledging that there's really no negative.
No.
To me, Tamas, Rajas, and Sattvas, all they remind me of the kapha, of the doshas.
Yes.
Which I know they're supposed to, and of course no one's going to be equally balanced, but also sometimes you need to get a little tamas. Sometimes you need a little fire under your butt, I guess, so to say. And then at the same time, you need some, you need a wet blanket to weigh you down. So for example, I have a son that has autism, and he reacts very well to heavy blanket. Well, used to react very well to heavy blankets. Now that's weighted, heavy, calming. All things that are Raja, Tamas. But at the same time, he is rajasic.
Yeah.
As a person. So
I think you will see there is a lot of lots of shift. Yeah, rajasic, tamasic, rajasic. It just quickly moves one to the other, and there's also vata in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like his body type is serenely Vata. Past personality is kind of like he's fiery, but he does not like competition. So,
Yeah.
you see how it's like flip, 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 flip. Very. I should do him as a case study.
Yeah, it's difficult with autism because it's a quite a large spectrum. It depends where you are in the spectrum. You will have a more of those excess of excessive vata or excessive raja or excessive tamas. So you have a more of those going up and down. Again, depends where you are. And but as interesting enough, I was looking at a program that done here in UK, how to help them to get a little bit of balance and control of all these changes. And actually they found that meditation.
Mindfulness and self-regulation.
Yeah.
That's another program.
And it has to be a repetition, and eventually, but it's with everybody, not just with autistic people. If you want to change a habit, you have to repeat whatever you want to change it into, the new habit, you have to repeat it long enough, then it builds a new habit. So it just that the autistic child is a bit more evident in a way that it's difficult for them to control it.
They're rigid.
Yeah. And that's why, but it's just like it has to be more evident, the repetition and the building of the routine. And but it was really, really nice how they introduced the child to meditation with singing bowls.
Yeah.
Because
some kids love it, some kids hate it.
Huh?
Some kids love that sound. Some kids,
it's too much trilling. It depends on the pitch. Depends on the pitch. Yeah. But when you look at it, it's the use of the senses. Yeah. And again, we're going to go to the with just that picture, how the senses that relates to all of the 5 elements, that relates to the eye maker, and how the more you can involve the senses into the action, and the more you can bring equilibrium. So the psychology behind the singing bowls, and you have the action of the hands. So you have to concentrate in what you're doing. Yeah. But at the same time, so you enter into the subconscious mind, because your conscious mind is busy singing the singing bowl in the circle. And then we got the circle as well. That's another something else altogether, circle of Dharma, whatever you want to, lots of circles meaning. But there's also, so your conscious is busy, and then let the subconscious then to be, how to say, to be released in a way. So then the person can let go of the barrier, or let down a little bit the barrier, and then absorb the vibration and sound. And then as you become, your consciousness is busy doing the thinking, actually your mind is start picking up the sound, picking up the variation. While if your conscious mind is busy, it doesn't allow the mind to get involved, the subconscious mind.
Right.
They dominate.
Go outside. It's just like, those fidget spinners. I don't know if you're familiar with them in the UK.
What is it?
The fidget spinners.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they've been banned in some schools, but it's a similar thing where he will, because they're a distraction to most children, well, not to him. Fidget spinner to him gives him something to do, look at, participate in, and then let go and be able to absorb other things.
But that too is a form of meditation, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly it, which is my fight with the school.
But again, you know, we've seen how that might work for some and not work for others, because we have such a you know, each person is an individual. Each person has different experience or different prakriti, is a different eye maker. So there's a different gunas in each person and different quantities of the elements. So that's why Ayurveda doesn't generalize. It's very looking at the individual as a one person. And where are we now? Let me have a look.
Senses.
Yeah, no, I was going to, we kind of cover quite a lot, to be honest. I was going to, no, it's good. It's very interesting. And, but I wanted to go back to, let's go back again to the guna. So we've seen different aspects of the guna. Let's look at the health. So we are looking at a sattvic living. Is the one that is in harmony with nature and our inner self, cultivating purity, clarity, and peace. So our inner self, again, is the pure self, which is more difficult to know what it is because of all of the conditionings and all of the other things that interferes with the pure inner self. And rajas and tamas are the factors that cause disease. Raja causes pain, agitation, and the dissipation of energy. Tamas bring about stagnation, decay, and death. Sattva is the power of harmony, balance, light, intelligent, the higher or spiritual potential. And so the health of Raja is the power, energy, action, change of movement. So again, we do need that sometimes to get a kick. Like you said before, you just need, sometimes you do have to have a little bit of a kick, the power, the energy, the action. Tama is the power of darkness, inertia, the lower or material potential. So let's have a look how what is the characteristic of a sattvic person. So sattvic people possess harmonious and adaptable nature, which gives the greatest freedom from disease. Rajasic people have good energy, but burn themselves out through excessive activity. We see lots of this around. Men are usually agitated and seldom at peace, have strong opinion and seek power over others, are impatient and inconsistent in dealing with their problems, blame others for their problems, and they don't want to be take responsibilities. They are in control of their life, which is dominated by their ego. Tamasic people have deep-seated psychological blockages. Energies and emotions tend to be stagnant and repressed. They don't know what their problems really are, don't seek proper treatment.
I'm sorry, Raffaella, did you say Raja people do? Or just Rajasic people do? Have a deep-seated psychological illness?
No, tamasic. I move on to the tamasic people.
Okay, thanks.
No. So Rajasic, they're the one that got full of energy, that firing, burning personalities, and they seek powers over order, they're dominated by their ego. While tamasic people is the opposite extreme. So they have deep-seated psychological blockages, energy, so the pressure, or even self-harming and, suicidal as well. I mean, this is really the extreme. Energies and emotions tend to be stagnant and repressed. They don't know what their problems really are, don't seek proper treatment, they usually have poor hygiene and self-care habits. That dull, so they don't see the need to seek help, accept their condition as fate, allow the people and negative influences dominate them, and don't like to be responsible for the life. They allow all the people to take decision for them and be the responsible for them. So they don't really deal with the problem. They don't even think there is a problem.
They're numb.
Yeah. And you can see a lot of similarities with the doshas, with the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. That we always say, in the Ayurvedic courses or even in yoga class, there will always be a Pitta Vata, Vata Pitta, Vata, or Vata Kapha can be, or Pitta Kapha, but you will rarely see a real Kapha person because they were just doing nothing, sitting at home. They don't really feel the need.
I don't. What type of yoga do you teach?
Me?
Yeah.
It's very sattvic.
Sattvic. So I teach flow.
Me I created my own type of yoga, which is because I do yoga therapy for chronic back pain. So for me, it's most important is the health of the spine, which again relates to your chakra, is to your nadis. So if there is a healthy spine, the lymphatic system, everything, so the flow of energy flows, and so it brings health and balance. So for me, that is the first thing that's the most important.
That is the opposite. Now, I teach very slow flow and alignment based. I know there's power yoga and things like that, but usually when they see flow, I typically get people who are pittas, maybe a pitta vata combination, very little kapha, although there is one woman who's extremely aware of herself, and she is kapha, and she does flow, and she pushes herself every day to do a power flow.
So she's a kapha, balanced kapha.
She's a balanced kapha, and I brought that to her attention.
Yeah, lost you.
She was so thrilled.
Yeah, so you brought it to her attention.
Yes, and she was very happy because it just means that she's in tune with her body and her needs. And she was like, all right, okay, I'm doing the right thing. She's also a psychologist.
Yes.
Although sometimes they can be rather unaware.
True, because sometimes it's too much on the book, but not a lot into practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yes. Going to the therapies. So with therapies, work through sattvic qualities of love, peace, and non-violence. So we do talk a lot, especially into our advanced course, what might be a sattvic therapy. Does it ring a bell to you? Do you remember it at all?
I'm trying to think. Sattvic therapy.
In fact, it's part of the daily routine as well.
Meditation.
Yeah.
Restorative. Well, actually, it would depend on your dosha as to what kind of, dosha balancing asanas. Even guided meditation, lots of props.
Shall I help you out?
Dinacharya would be, tongue scraping, teeth, eye washing, warm water with lemon. I'm just looking in my kitchen, that's why.
No, keep going. You're getting there.
Then, then they would do meditation. Then they would do yoga or movement, mindful movement. Doesn't necessarily have to be yoga. Maybe
it's before that. Unless you do it afterwards, I don't know. But generally it's done before. You might not do it daily because it takes time, but it's recommended to. Abhyanga.
Abhyanga, oh my gosh.
Oh my God, massage.
And you want to know why I forgot it? It's because I'm out of sesame oil.
So yes, those. But anyway, everything that you just said, they're all sattvic therapies because it brings the quality of love. But to me, it really resonates a lot the massage, especially the self massage, because the action of massaging yourself is also giving yourself love. Yeah, self love, and. So the Rajasic therapies work through Rajasic qualities of stimulation, and again, massage could be Rajasic, depends how you do it. And
would it be more Rajasic if someone else did it and it was long, soothing?
Like deep tissue, very strong strokes, or using oil that are really, really, well, you wouldn't use oil with them. But like with essential oil that are stimulating and energizing. So it could be that as well. So Rajasic therapies work through Rajasic quality of stimulation, energization, and agitation. And while Tamasic therapies work through Tamasic quality of sedation, sleep, and grounding. And so to me, Savasana, really. Savasana, Yoga Nidra, these are, they have tamasic qualities and we know how beneficial they are. So it's not a negative, yeah?
Right. I need.
But sometimes the sedation, it could be, if you think about tamasic therapy, it could be that, if you have a hysterical reaction, you need to be sedated to calm you down, yeah? Or they can actually be much more than just so shavasana, and so we're talking that obviously proper therapy on if you're hysteric, you need sedation.
Yeah
It's just a moment to get you out of it, then you can build up to go back to sattvic. But you do need, sometimes you need something really, really strong to shift it. Yeah.
It's like talking to a child in the middle of a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can't be just sattvic because it's not enough to get them out of that situation.
Right.
So you need actually a stronger reaction.
Okay.
So if you are to tamas, you're fainting, they give you the salts. And that is Rajasic therapy. So, woo, I'm awake, I'm back.
I'm awake, and now I don't know what to do.
It brings you back. If you just softly, touch it might be enough, but probably not. Yeah, you need something a little bit stronger. And so that's, so we can see a little bit of the therapies, how they do have these gunas qualities to it.
Yes.
So we're looking at the 3 states of mental healing. So sattva is about peace and enlightenment, perfecting sattva, moving from selfless service to meditation. Rajas is about vitality and self-expression, calming raja, developing sattva, moving from self-motivated action to selfless service. And from tamas, so mainly the state of the mental healing. So if we start from tamas, right? So tamas, you have the ignorant and psychological oriented life. So you're really, really tamasic, heavy, dull. So to break up tamas, you need to develop rajas. So move from mental inertia to self-motivated action, which for example, your lady, she's self-motivated, your kapha person lady. I don't know actually if she got tamas guna. Most likely she has a little bit, but she's self-motivated and she's getting out of that state. So from tamas you move to raja. So if you become to rajasic, so to become raja, you need to develop sattva. So it depends how much Rajasic you are. You might need a little bit of Tama to tune it down a little bit, and then you do Sattvic practices. So moving from self-motivated action to selfless action, selfless service. And once you reach Sattva, you reach the peace and enlightenment. So the Sattvic stage is, if you really want to perfect it, you can move from selfless service to meditation. And so the full enlightenment. And so again, into the slide, it takes about all of the single stages. So breaking up tamas, moving from tamas to rajas, you need transition and fire. Wake up, act, and begin to change. Release deep-seated pattern of attachment. Oh my God, don't we all have it? Stagnation and depression must be released. Recognize our suffering and learn from it. Confront our pain, including what we have suppressed or ignored for years. Develop a new sense of who we are and what we need to do. And just something came on mind. It's like you need to know pain to be able to identify a state without pain, in a way. Yeah, it's like you need to have sufferance to be able to identify happiness. Yeah, if you're happy all the time, you don't know that you are, because that's the only thing you know. You don't have anything to compare it to. So, so it just pump up into my mind.
Because that's what I use as an example when people say, well, because they come to you for many reasons, and often reasons that we probably are not qualified to answer, because they're more psychological. But if someone will just mention that they're unhappy, and I always say that things are meant to change, and you wouldn't know you were unhappy unless you were never happy. So you will again be happy.
So you just need motivation to be happy, or to get out of that state, tamasic state. Yeah.
So that's my way to explain that away.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, absolutely. But it's true. And it's funny how you can shift, because it becomes so, as we said just now, they become so ingrained, so embedded in that thought of negativeness, they can't see anything else. Yeah. And when you say, well, actually, the only reason why you know you're unhappy because you have been happy, and suddenly it's like, oh, you're right. But it wasn't that thought, it never came into their mind because they were just so close into that situation, they couldn't see anything else.
Right.
And so, breaking up tamas, moving from tamas to rajas, indicate action. Rajas are not only in the mind, but involved in outer aspects of our lives. Break with the past, bring new energy into our life, perhaps change job, or modify our relationship, or move to a new location. There's a lot to say about this. Sometimes it's not easy, the circumstances, but there's a lot of unhappiness happening because of job, because of relation, or location. And it's like, there was a lady actually in the Facebook group, she was talking about how the humidity, the heat I think she was living in Hawaii, how was affecting her. And I was thinking, well, just move. Okay, that's just a quick and easy solution, but you can't really do that. Well, some people, no, I didn't say it, but it's like, to be honest, you have to look into a way to make changes and really see. And then we always, there's a beautiful say that said the greatest invention come from sufferance or in hate. You hate something or you soften so much that you want to change it, and you find a way to change it, or find a way to get back, and suddenly the greatest invention comes from this. If you weren't, you wouldn't find to change anything. You're just happy. Yeah. And
exactly.
so yes, you feel unhappy where you are, so you can find a way. Okay, you'll be maybe happy living in London where I live. You can swap places, or maybe just change the routine or change it, you know, but there always are ways, but you have to shift your mental perspective. It becomes a more flexibility and more flexible in the way you think or perceive things. And that is the process again of the eye maker, you know, connecting back to all of the other things. And then Ayurveda always help you, because that's what we are identifying. What is happening? How are you perceiving those things? So how your senses are working. Are you in balance? Are they not? Are your gunas as balanced as they should be? Are your elements in balance with you? Why is it? Why isn't? You know, they are creating suffering. They are creating illness. So let's find the root cause. Why is it happening? Anyway, let's move back to calm rajas, moving rajas to sattva. So for rajas, we need space in this transition. Surrender our pain and give up our personal seeking, because the rajas is driven by the ego. Let go of individual hurts and sorrow. They personalize our problem. That's very often so difficult for people to depersonalize their problem. And it's funny how people blame other people for their own situation, not realizing that you made this decision. You had to make decision to be in that situation. Yet people might have direct you or push you, but the final decision, you made it. And it's very difficult to depersonalize the problem and realize there is a way out. Yeah, you don't need to be in that situation, but it is you. You are the one. You can do it. Okay, you can. There are people that can help you, but ultimately, I can help you. But if you don't do it, nothing is going to change.
If you don't act, and if you don't try and change your mindset. I went through a certification in applied positive psychology. In mindset, a lot of things that we talk about in this course, very similar to the principles there, but without the Vedic philosophy part. You know, it's basically the theories of Buddhism, but just all, you know, not any sort of religion. Well, it's not religion or philosophy like that attached to it. And one of them, a huge one, is changing from one mindset to the negative, like one that's set, to a flexible mindset. And there's actually exercises that you can do. I should share them with you.
Oh, please, yes, that would be lovely.
I have so many. I've been using them a lot, so they're wicked out of order right now. But I should maybe make some PDFs and put them on the where we submit our homework, right?
That would be great. Yes.
So I will write that down. Getting old. Okay. Can't find it. I'll remember. I'll be going through it after. So, okay.
You're a bit vata, aren't you?
Huh?
You keep moving. You're a bit vata.
So much. So vata. And I'm moving because I wanted to be on this call so bad with you, because I know what it's like to do a call. And then at the same time, I have someone who called and was like, I'm coming over. So I'm like, okay, I gotta do a million things. But I'm one of those people that can do that and then listen.
Yes.
Because I'm like my son.
Oh, it's good. And yeah, take a note so you don't forget it.
No. And hold on.
So I just go back to the depersonalize our problem, you know, for camera Jessic. It look to understanding the entire human condition and the pain of others. So again, just don't be me. Actually, have a look what's around you as well. Yeah. And leave behind our personal problems. This is because from Raja we want to move up steps to selflessness. So leave behind our personal problem and take up the problems of humanity, opening up to the suffering of others as our own. And it doesn't mean that you have to become like a mother, we call it in Italian, Madre Teresa di Calcutta. Calcutta Mother Teresa?
Yeah, Mother Teresa. Well, how do you say?
Madre Teresa di Calcutta.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
As a Teresa, yeah, Mother Teresa. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to become saint, but certainly you have to become a little bit more aware of it. Yeah. So to come Raja, moving Raja to Sattva, learn that life creates suffering in order to help us grow spiritually. This a stage of service and clarity. So yeah, mainly it's more about moving into giving service and less I-centered, less ego-centered. And now the straight, once we move into the pure sattva stage, we develop love and awareness as universal force. So we learn to transcend the limitation of the human condition to our higher spiritual nature. So again, you really be detaching for the grossness of your body, of the human condition.
Yeah,
Inner pain. Pardon?
Detach from it. So, okay, so one of the steps that I took was to start volunteering at a place that feeds homeless people. And I also teach yoga for recovery. And so I'm nowhere else except there. I don't think about myself. I only think about them. I move at their pace. I do what they got to do. I don't care about anything else. All this stuff like that I'm like running around doing now disappears. Yeah. So I'm not in a Rajasic state. I'm not in a Tamasic state, but with that, really?
No, that would be Sattvic because you are selfless doing.
Just a little glimpse of it though, because you don't stay there, right?
Yeah, coming and going your voice.
Yeah, you do.
Didn't hear you well. Yeah, I can see my face going a bit weird. It could be like, my connection actually. I had lots of problem with the internet today.
Well, and home, so that's what our problem is.
So yes, mainly is learn to transcend the limitation of the human condition to our higher spiritual nature. So the inner peace become our dominance force. So we stop seeking to overcome our pain or develop our joy and stop being centered in our personal or collective problems and develop communion with the greater universe and the divine powers at work within us. And that really brings you peacefulness and calm, peace mind, really. Blissfulness, really. So the stage 3 is about move from the human aspect of our condition to the universal aspect, becoming open to all life. And again, it's as we've seen the Sankhya philosophy, you know, like a tree coming from Purusha. It's mainly you're going back to the nature, to the Purusha, to the universal consciousness. So this is the stage of spiritual practice. it is beyond all ordinary healing and works to heal our relationship with God and the inner self. This really reminds me of the Tibetan monks. So they are already in a sati state. So they spend their day in meditation because is their spiritual practice.
Right.
They are enlightening themselves to the universal peace. And so creating sattva is creating sattva through yoga and learning Ayurvedic lifestyle, bring about awareness of the self. To get there, we must have perfect health, and it's quite a big ask nowadays. Perfect health, or svasta, is achieved by establishing and having a deep knowing of the truth of the self. Knowing the truth of the self is realizing that a part of God resides within us. This level of clarity can only be obtained with sattvic body and mind. That's why we always say that yogics should have a sattvic diet, because the ultimate goal of yoga is the enlightenment. And we are trying to bring the gross body to a sattvic state so that the mind can be free. Yeah. So again, the sattvic diet is the one that doesn't do any harm, mostly vegetarian. And so the one that you cook with love. It's not just about what you eat, it's how food is prepared and how you eat. In fact, they say you should eat with no distraction, not even talking. You just eat to take full awareness of each bite, each component of the food that comes to your mouth. And again, it's all of the becoming. So because all of us, everything is has the 5 elements and the gunas. Each bite, you are sharing the 5 gunas, the 5 elements and the 3 gunas. So that's why it kind of, if we treat food more in a more respectful way, it's almost like a meditation. And then that helps digestion, that helps your body. So you are eating sattvic in a sattvic way, sattvic food in a sattvic state of mind, and your body will be able to receive the nourishment much better. So, and I think with this, I'm coming to an end. So, would you like to add anything?
It was great. You did a great job.
Thank you. Sorry about the tension at the beginning. Reading. I was like,
no.
It has been seen first time teaching online.
It's a little scary, but I think that I'm hoping that we provided people with some good.
Yes, and thank you so much for being with me in this call and providing question and interaction, which I think it makes all of the difference. Also for me, delivering and trying to explain better, because sometimes what I say is very clear to me, but not so clear to who listen.
Exactly, and sometimes you just need a few different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to seeing you again, and if I'm ever
it's
not
in September, 23rd of September. I can't remember which class I'm
doing.
teaching. Let me just quickly have a look. 21st of September is a Ayurvedic nutrition about AMA. So I won't be teaching other yoga therapy for the moment.
Okay.
It'll be nutrition.
If there's a call like philosophy I'm not on, and anyone asks where I am, could you just tell them that it's bad time? 4 o'clock. I usually have class. And I try to make it, but I can only do what I can.
Yeah, it's a shame. Most of the classes are at night time for me, so I'm in bed.
It's afternoon. It's like 2 o'clock where you are, right?
Yeah, 2 o'clock. The problem is at 2 o'clock I start to calm my mind, and if I get onto the internet, it's become a bit, and I have to get my kids to bed. It's all of the bedtime routine and everything, so it's very difficult. I could join like for half an hour, but then I will have to leave. While the 4 o'clock is just 4 p.m. It's just too late for me.
Same with me.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm working. I know it's daytime, but still.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Namaste. Thank you.
Great
See you
day.
again soon.
Yep,
Bye. Bye.